Hello, team. Good evening. Am I audible? Voice. Okay. Hi, Priti. Hi, Ria. Hi, Miss.
Hi.
Okay. So let me know if I am not audible. So I'm just starting. So today we are going to cover the like multilingual, how we can make the multilingual, or how we can add the language to the component, or maybe if some component, if we are making a component, so that component if you want to render it in some language, so how we can do that. Okay. So I have shared my screen, so let me know if my screen is not visible to anyone. Okay. So my voice is audible, right?
Yes, Prem.
Yes.
Okay. So so yesterday, I mean, if I show you the yesterday, I mean, we were struggling to find one of the component was not rendering. So let me tell you that first, so that you can be also sure like how we are rendering the component. So yesterday that was the let me show that was the component, this one. So we were just rendering the one of the component, this name. It was not, we were not able to render. So what I did is I made up the property like this. I made a type, and there I can access it through the field as well, or maybe I can access it through. Let me copy it this way. I can access it through the. I can access it through the field. I can access through the field. So this is how we make the properties. So I'll show you quickly. I'll show you because we already covered yesterday, but today I'll just show you like how we can write the properties, and in what the data we show in the console, or maybe the data return type, and how we are writing the properties here, so that you can understand. Okay. So let me show you what the component it's about. Okay. So yesterday we prepared, the component where we were just attaching a graphical query into the component itself. It is a server-side component, and from there we were returning the props. So these props we were just trying in a JSX component. So the component we wrote like this, like constant This is the component name because this JSS graphical Next.js component. Then we were passing the props here, and after props, what we were doing is we were just trying to get the data. Okay, so how, we are trying to get the data and how we can access it. Okay, so what we were doing yesterday, we were not able to get this, this name data. It was giving us a problem. So I'll just explain you what was the problem. Okay, so whenever, like, in that scenario, when you are not able to access the data, or maybe you are not able to understand how this data here I can access the the field or maybe the component data. So what's the way you can identify which data, how I should I write here. So for that, everything in a in the maybe a JavaScript or maybe in a JavaScript framework, what we do is whatever object it's returning in, for our case it's a props. Okay, what we were doing is from this the server side method, what it's returning us, it's returning a prop like this. Okay, so these props we are just assigning to the component props like this. Now what we are doing, we are just consoling it. So this is the best method that we can see, what's returning in these props. So what's the data is coming in the props, and based on that, we can maybe make up properties here. Okay, we can make a properties, and maybe after that we can assign the demo. For now we can, like, we can write any. If you are not able to write the property, you can just uh, you can give like a props any, you can just pass a any, and then you can you can just console it, and when you console, you will able to get the what kind of data it's going to return. Okay, so let me show you what it's going to return us. So yesterday we were doing it for localhost, then contact. So this is the data now returning, but what we supposed to see is it was giving us an error. So when it's giving in some error, and maybe we are not able to get like how uh, we are passing the props, but after that how we are going to get the name, how we are going to get the heading and description and its value. So when we console it here, so what we are going to get here, so let me see. So we have to inspect, maybe we can see it from here, or maybe we'll just see in the terminal. If you see the terminal here, so what it's returning, so we console it, and what it's returning a like rendering. In a rendering, what it's returning, the component name, JSS data source. Then there you can see the fields. In the fields, what it's returning the heading, it's returning the description. Okay, and the props, like how it will be props, then data and data items. So how you can understand it, so when you get like this one, so it's easy. Now you can write the you can you can write the properties. So how the props is returning data, we have to define the properties like this. So if I am writing in the properties here, so how you can write, so you can see how I'm writing. Okay, this you have to define the type, like type, then equal to, then curly brace open, then the field, then you have to define like field, then description you have to open, then value. So value, what kind of data it's returning, is returning a string, so I just keep the string like this. Then heading, I have to write like a heading, then this, then value, what type of data it's returning the heading, this. So this way you have to see. Maybe if you are not able to understand, what you can do is you can just console it here. From here as also you can see the data. how the object is returning. So there it's object. You can see the various way it's showing the data. Okay, so it's supposed to, we can see maybe in a field way, if we see like how it's returning field, then description, then heading, so we can directly access it. Maybe if we are not doing that way, we can see the props way as well. So props, then props, then data, then item. Okay, inside the item, what we are able to get, we are able to get the description, data, and this, that item name. Okay, so it's easy, right? I mean, now we can get. So how, if I have to, I mean, let's see how I can do that. So I'll just show you how we can make a property, so that you can be sure like we can make the similar kind of, properties when we are writing the component for it. So this is how we can make. Okay, you can just, copy it. Maybe let me just, you know I'll just show you. Let me copy it somewhere and write down. So how I can write is, I mean, let me do this way. Okay. Now for now, what I'll do is, let me just, if I press like control, then forward slash, it will just comment out. It will comment. Okay. Now if I'm saying the result in our side, now hello. So now we are returning just a simple text like h1 hello. Okay, so next, now in the props we are passing any. So I mean it's fine. I mean we can pass the any, but we're supposed to write some kind of properties, so that it will be more more visible, like what, I mean, we are going to assign into the any tags, or maybe any uh, on the JSX element or HTML element. So what we'll do is we'll write the types. So what kind of this props type will be? So we'll just define the properties. So to define the properties, what we do is, let's take the type. Type will name like JSS props data equal to this. Okay. Next thing, we have to define, we'll write the here. So how we are going to write? First of all, what we'll do is we'll go here and we'll see what kind of data it's returning to us. Okay, so we'll see the both ways. Suppose if I have to return only the fields, so I have to write this field properties here. So what I'll do is, you have to see how I am going to write. So I'll see the fields. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll write the fields here. Similar name I have to write. Okay, so I'll write fields. Okay, now next, what it is then description. Now let's write the heading first. Okay, heading, if there is a heading like this, then it's value. So what will be the structure? So I'll write here like a heading, then colon, then I'll this, then we have a there we have this value is returning the string type. So I'll write like this. Let me write a value, then string type, and this. Okay, close with the semicolon. Okay, next, what we supposed to write for the description? Let's see the description. Okay, let me see the description. Make sure the name is correct. as per the this console object. Okay, this description is correct. Now its value is returning a string type, so that property we have to define. So value string. Okay. So I mean we done with the fields. Okay, so in a fields what we can get now, description and heading. Okay, so I mean we done with the writing properties for the fields. Okay, so now next thing what we can do is in the console, if you'll see, when I'm going to the, you can also access through the rendering as well. So if you go the rendering, in a rendering you have to define like this: first rendering, then fields, then and this. Okay, so we'll not go with the rendering way, we'll go with the props way now. So how I can define the props properties here? So I'll go, I'll see the structure, how it's returning. It's turning the props, then data, then item. After that, I'm getting these things. Okay, so let me write this way. So first of all, I have to define the word props, then data, then item, like this. So let me show you how I'm defining here. So I'll write props, then I have to do the data now. Data. Okay. Next, I have to define the item. Okay. Next, I have the this. First, I'll define the name. So name is just a string. Name is written in string. So I'll write like a name. Name will return the string. Okay. Then it's a heading and description. Okay. So it's a similar structure I like here. So what I'll do is I'll write only one, like heading. Let me write the heading. Heading. Then value will return string. Colon is this one is the same for this. Okay. So you know now, I mean, how we are writing the properties. Okay. So it's based on like how data is returning, how JSON data is returning. Okay. How the graphical data or maybe the layout service data is returning. The similar way we have to write the properties. So I mean, so that we can get the exactly for our component what we have to define. Okay, so now what I'll do is, now the type, this one I'll pass here as a probes type. I'll remove the any, I'll just replace with this. Okay, now I can get easily data, how I can get it. So let me write like, if I have to access with the field, let me h1 access data from fields way. Okay, then I can write like this: text, where is text? So what I can do is, so here we have to define, we are importing the text. This is the text, I mean this is text and rich text. So because we have a heading and title, these are the tags for JSS, text and rich text, or maybe we can write a JSS rich text like that. For now we are just writing a text and rich text. Okay, so let me try that. Okay, so this is the way we write mostly. Text, text, it will be a self close, or maybe then field will be field sorry, it will be props actually. So from this we are going to access. So what I'll do is props dot field. Now when I'm doing the props dot, then you can see what are the option I'm getting fields and props. So these are the fields we have defined, so that it can props can show the data what we have made and what we need. So that's why we have to define the field. So you can see the type JSS props, we define the field, then we define the props. So we can also access the data using the fields, where we can also access the data with the props type data it's returning. Okay, so you can see when I'm accessing the props dot, then it's showing me field and props. Okay, so we are accessing through the fields, so let me through the fields, then heading. Okay, this is the way we have to access dot value. No, not, it will be not a value. Field it will automatically get. Next thing, it will be rich text. Field, then props dot fields dot description. Okay, this is the field way. Let's access it through the uh, props type. This way, what how we going to access? We are going to directly access like this. Maybe if it is a heading, let's curly brace, insert curly brace, we write the whatever the objects are. So props, then I'll select the props dot data dot, we have to follow this the way we have defined props data item name, like that. Okay, so item dot name. Okay, next we'll define h3 curly brace. Okay, props dot data dot item dot heading dot value. Okay, because we have wrote this way the props, we have to also list the value. Okay, next we have paragraph, we'll add the paragraph. Paragraph will add props dot data dot item dot description dot value. Okay, we can save it and let's see the result. if we are getting the result. So see, we are getting the data. So from the field where we can get the data whatever in our data sources, like we are getting the heading and this description. From the props way we can get the that data source name and what are the value or the whatever field name we have. So this is the heading and this is the description. Okay, so now I think you are more clear, like how you can create the properties or how you can assign the you know data to the component. Okay, so do you have any question on it?
No.
Okay, so the next what we are going to do is uh, next we are going to see the how we can add the language. Suppose if I'm going to access this in a different language, maybe if it is a if I like a DADK in a Danish, it will come or not. Okay, now it's rendering the same data. So I mean, because I have already implemented, so whatever language I mean, for now I have implemented only for the two languages, so data will come. So I have configured it. Okay, so I'll just show you like how you can configure the multilingual in the component or in the code. Okay, so for that what we do is so first thing what I mean, maybe two things I am going to quickly tell you about today. One is multilingual configuration in the components and in the side core side as well. Multilingual. Okay, multilingual configuration. Next is suppose we have to access the context data, right? I mean, in the normal .NET component, what we do is we get the context data. Like context data means maybe atom name, maybe the language, or maybe the any details about the context. Context like maybe its metadata and analytics data, navigation title, or language ID, root path, or the route name. That so those things belongs to the the context data. So we'll see how we can access the context data into the component. Okay, so uh, satcore JSS context data. Satcore JSS context data. Okay, so okay, so these two things that I am going to explain you. Okay, so let's start with the first one, multilingual configuration. So as you know, in a site core have a the we can add as much as language version into the site core. Okay, so we have to just add the language in. First of all, we have to add the language into the we navigate to the system, then there is a language. Okay, there we have to add the language. Okay, after adding the language here, I mean, what we can do is we have to implement that language. You have to add the language into the website. Okay, after that what we can do, when it is language is added to the website, what we do is we can just add the language version from here. Like more language, we can add its language version. And after the language version, I mean, we have to put the value. Suppose for this home item, I have activated the Danish data, Danish Denmark. So atom is only one. Only we are. I mean, it's. I mean, there are now we have a two language version, English and Danish. Okay. So when I'm going back to the English, so it will show like this. When I'm going to the and the same atom, when I'm going to the Danish language, it will show in the different language. Okay, so this is how we do. So in a sidecore side, maybe you know already, I also told you like how we can configure. It's a very basic things. Okay, we'll see how we have to configure the multilingual things in the into this in the front end application, in a headless front end application. Okay, so for that the first of all what we have to do is we have to go to the next.config.js. Okay, there we have to add one, this one. Actually, when we create the the application, it's by default it's adding its I18 internationalization, the library by default. So we don't have to much worry about it. Okay, so let me show you where it is. If I go to the page, you can see there, I I18N provider. So I18N provider is already implemented here into the root label. So whatever it will come here, whatever come in, whatever we have, this I18 will be available on every page or every component. We have to just configure it. So how we do configure into the config? So for the front-end application, we have on the main config. For configuring the Next.js component or module, we have to configure in next.config.js. So this config.js is responsible for everything whatever we are adding for the any config. So I18N. So I18N is the library or module for it supports the multilingual. And what the things we have to add is, we have to add like a local. We add the language as much as language we can add. Okay, for now I have English and DK. Okay, and this configuration you must have, and that's it. Okay, so let's see one how we can configure, because I have configured already. So you have to configure it this way. Only these things we have to push into the next.config.js, and all it will work fine. Okay, so let's see. Suppose if I have to add the English, sorry, Hindi. So what I'll do is, first of all, what we'll do is we'll add the in a home. There in a home, we'll add. For the home page, we want to add the Hindi language. For now, we have only two: English and Danish. So now what we'll do is we'll add, uh, you know, we'll add the Hindi language, sorry, English language. Sorry, Hindi language. Okay, so for adding the language, first of all, we have to go to the in the content tree. We have to navigate to this system. Okay, then language, then insert, then language. Okay, then we have to select the language here. Suppose if I am selecting the Hindi. Okay, I selected the Hindi. Okay, and let me hit next, next, close. So we added the Hindi language. Oh, sorry, it must be, first of all, it must be English. We have to make sure we are in a default language. Then after that, we have to add the language here. So what we'll do is let me just publish this language so that it can be available on. So what I'll do is maybe it's only a one language. So let me publish it. Sorry, only I had to select the Hindi, but I selected the all. Okay, so now the Hindi language is added. Okay, so what I'll do is next, I have to add this that into the this application. So what I'll do, and this now we have the application JSS XM Cloud. So I'll do a right click here and go to the script. Then I have a option like add site language. So I'm adding the site language here. So existing or default language is English. New language what I'm supposed to add, I supposed to add the Hindi. I've selected the Hindi and now adding the language. Okay, so it's done. What I'll do is let me just publish this now, and before publishing what I'll do is we have to also create a one component where we can see, I mean, uh, wait, I mean, we added that language. Now we have to publish it so that we can see into the page. Okay. Let me publish. I'll select, and what I'll do is, let me see. I'll select the whole application. Publish atom, and related atom I'll publish all. I have to make sure it is selected as smart publish. Okay. So data is published now. So what I'll do is let me just create the home item. What I'll do is let me go to the Hindi now. So I'll select the Hindi language now. If I select the Hindi, so I'll write something in a Hindi now here. Okay, JSS Cloud. English to Hindi. For now, we'll just translate this one. Okay, JSS XM Cloud. Okay, it's not able to translate. Yes. So now we are in the Hindi. So in a Hindi version of the home atom. And let me just copy this as well, so that we can see the Hindi language, Hindi text there. Okay, I'll go to its data source. Okay, I'll also change this. So whatever, like, it's coming into the Hindi, Hindi version, we can see that in a Hindi. Okay, so we also check the presentation details, if we have some component in Hindi or not. So we can see we have the component. So let's see. So let me publish it now. Publish this to be published to the Hindi only. Okay, so now I'm selecting only Hindi. So whatever app changes I have made, that will be published to the Hindi version. Okay. So let's try to access it now. So for the Hindi, how I'll access it, maybe like this. Localhost, because this one is the Hindi, so we'll access this way. Let's try. Okay, H1. Okay, now so it's not finding the data. So okay, one thing we have to do is, if it is a Hindi, then okay, so let me see the it's okay, it must be in English. Let me see, where is the its language notation I have to see. ISO and DK. This one we have to register here in a there, like this. Okay, then I save it. Then we'll hit the like this. So we are trying to access it using the language Hindi, and let's see data is appearing or not. Okay, it's comparing to 404. Let's see. So see, you can see we are getting the data in Hindi, right? So I mean, let me remove some of these styles. So these styles are, you know, whatever we have done it in, it's giving some issue. So it must be Hindi. I have to remove the styles, these styles. So it will only render what we have the in Hindi. Okay. No, it's fine. Or maybe in a home as well, in a description we have something. Let me remove the HTML. Remove the those styles. because it's going to be only in Hindi, so I'll select this item to be published to the Hindi only. So I published it. Let me just refresh it now. See, so you can see, I mean, our data is coming. Okay, so data is coming in the Hindi language. Okay, you can see we are also uh, uh, just getting the this language like this. Okay, so do you have any question on it? Okay,
I have a question. If
okay,
I want to set a language as fallback language for the website, how can I do that?
okay. Fallback language you can do this way. I mean, generally what we do is you maybe can put by the maybe data source if you know there we have an option. Okay, fallback language. Mm, language. Let me see. In an atom level, I have to see if there is a chance we can set a fallback language. Statistics version, workflow validation task. Or maybe here in a language we can get, let me see. Go, okay. There we have. If Hindi, we are not able to find it in the Hindi, so let me add in a Hindi. If something we are not finding in Hindi, it must be by default English. English will render. Okay. So in a language we are defining, and there are also maybe we have a lot of option to set the fallback language, or maybe let me go to the rendering label. Okay, I can define the fallback language as well there, or maybe let me just see.
Mostly to make insight to write while like bird finding the
uh your voice was not clear, so I couldn't hear
no, I will say is it audible now?
it. It's only on.
Uh, I will say like while accepting faulty for tool site we do it in site looping, right? Like where all the site configuration we define the domain name and everything. There also we have the option like to set fallback language with the default language to set.
Okay, there. I mean, there we can only add default language. So default and fallback language is the two different things. Okay, so I mean, they only this will be a default language. So default language is by default is English. Okay, and the fallback language, because we have a auto box implementation for fallback language. So there we can define in any language like DADK language. If you are finding nothing, then I mean we can set a fallback language for that. Okay, fallback language will be EN, English. There we have another option as well. I'm forgetting that. In a Let me see in a page label. Let's see the page label fallback. Okay. Enable atom fallback. Okay. Where is that? Fallback. Advanced. See, I mean, we can make a check like enable atom, display the atom fallback if no language version exists. Okay, suppose in that case, I mean, we are in the Hindi. Okay, and it's saying like enable atom fallback from the fallback language if no language version exists. Okay, I mean, we have to select this one if no version for the I mean no version is existing. Suppose what we can do is, I mean, in the home we are English. Okay, we have to just check this. So if there is no language version is existing, suppose we are hitting for the Hindi, or maybe hitting for the Denmark, and there is no language version is available, no versions are available language version. So it what it will do is it will just render the English language like that. So atom level is also possible, or maybe the language level we can just check whenever, like we are creating a language, we can just check like if that language is not, then which language it will come. Okay. And I mean, in a config, if you go back to the web root, if you go to the web root, we have their option as well. Let me try to show you that. I mean, we have a many option for that, but okay, in a config, we will find there are language definition. So in a language definition, we can add as much as language we can. There. So fallback language, let me show you where there will be somewhere in a maybe satcore.config. You have to check, or maybe let me see. There somewhere we have example. You will see somewhere like a fallback here. Okay, so you have to just enable that, and what language you want to put in a fallback, you can just activate. Okay, if you are not doing from the from the site code, so you can do it from here as well. Site definition, switch manager. Let's see this. Or maybe what you can do is you can just find that language fallback configs from the sitecode document, or maybe somewhere in the internet you can get it. But mostly what we do is, I mean, we do we just configure it here. Okay, we can configure in an atom level, or maybe in a language level. Okay. So is this so is it clear now a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so uh I think we are, I mean, done. Approx it is 10 o'clock, so maybe, I mean, we did not able to complete this one, the context one. So we'll cover these topics tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay then. So what we do? So let's wrap up for today. So we'll connect at the same time tomorrow.
Right.
Okay. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.